Hi, my name is Jeremy Ashworth. I'm the pastor at Circle of Peace Church here in Peoria, Arizona. We're in suburban Phoenix. We're an all-ages, family-friendly Christian church. I'm making these videos primarily for my own congregation, but they're open to anybody, so feel free to watch and share. It's not a sermon or a Bible study. These are just the kind of conversations that you and I would maybe have if we were to just sit down on a couch and talk together. I've had some folks ask me to talk a little bit about race, which I'm happy to do. And I thought I would just share two stories about race and discrimination. My wife and I have been fortunate to live in a couple of different places, the Midwest, Northwest, Southwest. We've lived in conservative areas. We've lived in very liberal areas, city, country, suburbs. In one particular place we lived, they had a couple of social clubs that were kind of at the core of that community. Like if you wanted to be networked, if you wanted to be if you wanted to succeed in business, you really kind of needed to belong to one of these social clubs. And it just so happened that within a very short period of time, I talked to two people from two different social clubs, two of the main ones, that were just talked to me about their club and what they did. And in the course of that conversation, both guys said very casually, and we don't tell anybody this, but we don't let black people join the club. Two different guys from two different clubs in the same area said the exact same thing. Didn't really apologize, but completely straightforwardly said, oh yeah, we don't tell anybody this, but we don't let black folks join the club. Now, I'm not sure black folks would want to be in a club with a bunch of racists anyways, but I've thought about the economic impact of somebody who lives in that area or moves into that area, and they don't have some of the same doors open for them, right? And they're trying to figure out, why is this happening? Like, why does this person get the contract and I don't get the contract? Why do they get the connection and I don't get the connection? And again, like when you're on the receiving end of that kind of discrimination, you may not know for sure that you're being discriminated against. But in this example, I absolutely knew. Like, the guy told me, we don't let black folks join our club. There's another place we lived. We lived a couple of neighborhoods over from these big, beautiful old houses, gorgeous, gorgeous homes, historic stone and slate and wood, and the kind of homes they don't have a lot of in Phoenix. And I just happened to come upon, I think it was the bylaws for that neighborhood. It was the HOA, Homeowners Association, or some kind of bylaws for that neighborhood. The kind of the rules for what your house looks like or what your landscaping looks like. And written in the bylaws, there was a section about what kinds of people, meaning what nationalities were and were not allowed to live in that neighborhood. And it wasn't just black folks. Jews were identified, a couple of other groups were identified in writing, in black and white. And I know it was an old neighborhood, and so I think the rules had been written a long, long time ago. And I'm not sure that they enforced those rules recently. I don't know how they would, but I do know that they only removed those rules recently. And again, I don't know how many people of those nationalities wanted to buy homes in that neighborhood, but I just think about the value of those homes. I think about, that's the kind of home you could pass on in your family. That's the kind of home that is going to generate equity, potentially generate wealth for your family. And again, you think about just the economic impact of that. You've got several explicitly identified nationalities, ethnic groups, demographics that are not allowed to buy a house in this neighborhood. And again, it's not a matter of somebody thinks, I don't know, they treated me funny, I think maybe I was being discriminated against. It's in black and white. It was right there. I don't have a lot of stories of personal discrimination. I have a few, and I'm not going to put them on Facebook. If you want to know, just ask. I'm actually happy to tell you, not at all about race, but about religion, I think. Happy to share those one-on-one. I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to do it here. But I feel like what I have seen are not the unspoken or unwritten rules that people bump up against when they think they're facing discrimination or racism. I at times have seen the written rules. I at times have seen the unspoken rules be spoken. And so, like, I know some of that is real. I would just really encourage you, listen to the stories of particularly of people of color who have faced discrimination or who are trying to sort out, was that guy just being racist to me? Listen to those folks. I know we're all coming from different places. I know for some of us, we don't need to do a lot of listening because we've been living these stories for a long time. Others of us have been listening for a long time. Others of us are just shocked and horrified to go, oh no, I didn't know this was as much of a problem as I thought it was. Wherever you're at, listen to each other. Be kind to each other. Listen undefensively, because I think part of how we get to the truth is by listening to each other's stories. Thanks so much for listening. Take care of yourself. I'll keep on doing these videos. Take care. Bye-bye.